Hello, new residents of the United States or future residents of the United States. Today, I'm going to talk about something very important, and this is healthcare. Who am I? I am an international teacher recruiter, and I've helped hundreds of people move to the US. And I have seen a lot of things throughout my time doing this. And healthcare can be really confusing, especially if you come from a country that has universal healthcare. And the US does not have universal healthcare. So you have to buy insurance, usually through your employer or through the government. And without insurance, medical care is very, very expensive. So you definitely want to make sure you are insured in the US. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so what is a health insurance plan in the US? So it is basically a complex insurance contract where you pay a monthly amount and you also pay based on the services that you are receiving. And you have to use approved providers that will be within your plan, and you share those expenses with your insurer rather than the government if you're using a private insurance plan. And there are a few definitions that you might not be familiar with if you are new to the US. So for example, a monthly fee known as a premium is what you're going to pay every single month. So a US healthcare plan is insurance, not necessarily the care itself, where you have to pay a premium to keep the plan active. All right, so every month you will have to pay that monthly fee, that's known as a premium, just to keep your plan active. And then if you get sick and you need to go to a doctor, to a hospital, you will also have to pay additional charges, and it's gonna vary based on your plan. So eventually the insurance company will then pay part of your bill as well. So these are some definitions that you need to know. So a premium, again, is that monthly payment, and you pay this whether you use healthcare that month or not. A deductible is the amount that you pay first each year. So for an example, you might have a $1,000 deductible. That means that your out-of-pocket cost every year is $1,000 before your insurance helps pitch in for the rest of your care. And then we also have something called a copay. So this is a fixed fee for every doctor's visit that you go to. So it could be $30, $25. It just depends on your plan. And again, a lot of this stuff will just be specific to whatever plan you pick. So if I go to the eye doctor, I know my copay, if I have vision insurance, is going to be $30. If I go to my PCP, that's known as a primary care physician, my copay is going to be $50. So even if I go see my PCP again, it'll be $50. And another definition you need to know is the out-of-pocket maximum. So this is the maximum amount of money that you pay in a year before the insurance covers 100% of your care. Where do you get insurance? Well, this can depend on your situation. So you can either get it through the government and you have to qualify for that. So again, that's something you need to look into to see if you qualify. Most people get insurance from their employer, which is usually cheaper than if you were to get private insurance, which is the other option. So you've kind of got three ways of getting it: through your employer, through the government, or privately through a place called the marketplace. But if your employer offers insurance, you should probably take it through your employer, because your employer usually pays a part of the premium, and it's often a lot cheaper than getting insurance on your own. So there are a few things that you might not have in your home country when it comes to healthcare. So in the US, we have something called a network. So this is when your insurance plan limits which hospitals and doctors you can go see. So you want to go see doctors and hospitals that are within your network. If you go to an out-of-network provider, this cost will be a lot more expensive to you, or it could not be covered at all. So in-network providers are cheaper and covered. Out-of-network is more expensive, or it could not be covered at all. And this is something you want to make sure that you know. So when you sign up for your plan, God forbid you have an emergency, you want to know which hospitals near you are covered. You want to know which doctor is covered so that you can plan your life around this. Seeing the wrong doctor can result in many, many bills and many more expenses. Another thing that you might not have in your home country is when you go to a doctor, you might get one bill and that's it, or you might not get a bill at all. Here you can get multiple bills, even weeks, months after you've seen a doctor. So for example, when I go to my PCP, my primary care physician, my insurance plan allows me to go once a year and I have to pay a copay. And this is when the doctor will do blood tests, all sorts of things. And I will get to pay that copay to the doctor. And then a few weeks, maybe a month later, I'll get a bill from the lab and I have to pay that amount for my blood work. So of course, maybe if you have to do an ultrasound, you have to get an x-ray, those bills will keep piling up, especially if your insurance doesn't take care of that for you. All right, so what do healthcare plans typically cover? So by law, most healthcare plans have to cover hospital services, hospital care, doctor's visits, mental health services, emergency services, prescriptions, and preventative care. But how much they cover greatly varies. So you really need to see what is in your plan, or let's say you haven't picked one yet, you need to go through the plans and see what works best. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this video up with some things that might surprise you as not being from this country. So the first thing is that prices are not fixed. So the same treatment can cost wildly different amounts depending on where you go. Even in your same city, it can be completely different. You might receive multiple bills for one visit, like I mentioned, and sometimes these can come months later, and you want to stay on top of that or else they can send your bills to collections and it will affect your credit. Insurance may deny coverage after care is given. So maybe you went to the hospital or the doctor and they gave you care for something and you assumed you were covered for it, but after the fact it turns out you aren't, then you will have to pay that cost yourself. And ambulances can cost thousands of dollars. I would not recommend an ambulance unless you are, dying, but please make that call yourself. And medical debt is very common here. Unfortunately, it's really sad, but true. A lot of people are in crippling debt just from being sick. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment or a question and I will answer you. See you next time.